Welcome back. You're watching The Big Story. We're still on the untold stories of Pumwani. And if you're just joining us, let me get you to where this conversation is. Earlier on, Senator Johnson Sakaja has said there will be an inquiry into the Pumwani hospital saga after that impromptu visit by Nairobi Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko. Just a short while ago, the Kenya National Union of Nurses Secretary General Seth Panyako has said things are going completely wrong at not only the Pumwani maternity hospital, but the entire healthcare system in Nairobi. Once again, my guests, Seth Panyako, the Secretary General, the Kenya National Union of Nurses, Peter Warutere, an MCA and the chairperson of the Health Committee at the National Nairobi County Assembly, as well as Thomas Ogaro, the former Nairobi County Health Director. Gentlemen, thank you. I want now to take you to Thomas Ogaro. You were the first CC under Sonko's leadership for health. What do you think about the things Seth Panyako has stated as going completely wrong in this country? From where you sit, having worked as a CEC Health in this city, do you think we're on the right path?
Thank you, madam. Some correction there. I've never worked as a CEC.
Oh, sorry, the director, rather, the health director at the Nairobi County. Thank you very much for that correction.
Yes, I've worked as acting director during the Kidero administration and also during the Mr. Sonko administration, and also worked as a chief officer briefly, acting before the new chief officer was came in. Now, I may not agree completely with what Seth Panyako has said, but I want to state the following. Let me start by saying that what the senator said will take necessary measures and ensure that when the investigation is being carried out, he'll be able to be told the truth. And I think we are ready to give information when required. Number two, I want to respond to the concerns of one of the healthcare workers. He talks of promotion. Now, for the last 5 years of the revolution, we can agree that promotion has not taken place. But fortunately, under the Sonko administration, and the current budget, 2018-2019, we have made a provision of a budget, that is before I left the office sometime last month, to promote all the health staff, save if the money will be adequate. I think the chairman of the health committee will confirm that the budget was passed and promotion will be underway, and hopefully this year it will be done because we budgeted for that, something that was never done in the last administration. Number two, I saw him asking about whether Pumwani is level 5, levels, whatever. I want to state here clearly, under my administration, I made efforts and requested the Kenya Medical Practitioners as is board, and they classified all the public health facilities in Nairobi. And the Pumwani Maternity Hospital was classified level 5. As we are talking now, Pumwani Maternity Hospital is level 5. And whatever it gets from NHI, it gets as level 5. Level 5 hospitals, there are only 2 public in Nairobi, that is Pumwani and Mbagathi. Bamalus is still level 4. And in terms of the Nairobi region, we have proposed that to promote at least 6 high-volume health centers to level 4 hospitals. You can see we have plans, and our strategic plan talks everything. As you are saying, Pumwani here, is not that we are being lazy or whatever. We are doing everything to make sure that we offer quality services. The chairman of the committee is here. We have always had meetings, making plans to ensure that Nairobians could get quality healthcare services. However, you must understand that Nairobi is unique. Everybody comes to Nairobi. Everybody knows about Nairobi. Everybody sees Nairobi. So there's no perfect system that you can say that this is 100% perfect. Some of the lapses we are seeing here, those are some of the issues I think Governor Sonko, because of the way he goes and sees mistakes, he's able to see the mistakes and he's able to tell us this way you're not seeing. Because as healthcare workers, we may not be seeing everything, but when somebody comes, he'll be able to see, and I think I'm happy that he has seen where we have not been seeing for a long time. Look at the holding place of Pumwani. All along we have been thinking we are doing the right thing because nobody has ever identified it. It doesn't mean Pumwani started yesterday.
Is it something that caught your attention while you were the Director of Health in the county? You've served both under the government of Evans Kidero and now under Sonko until, of course, last month. Did it get to your attention? Is there any budget for even cooling room, or so to speak, or a mini mortuary for the Pumwani maternity hospital?
Well, it never caught my attention during my time because for me and the administration, if you look at the WHO leadership, the pillars, leadership and governance is number one. So for me, it never caught my attention that it's important to have a really mortuary because the cooling place or the holding place was enough because it's a temporary holding place. But when Governor Sonko visited, he realized that this is a necessity. And it caught our attention. Of course, I'm not currently in the office, but when I saw the media briefs, it caught my attention that this thing we have never seen for a long time.
So there have never been conversations, sorry to cut you short, there have never been conversations about getting the largest maternity hospital in East and Central Africa, a cooling room or a mini mortuary for any purpose since devolution began?
Well, if you look at our budgets, because normally the budgets originate from the facilities, the leadership makes a budget, and in any case, when they make a budget, they look at the priorities. The issue of a mortuary, was it a priority? You may not see as a priority, but somebody else will see that it's a priority, and therefore makes a corrective response to make sure you include this one. Now this one, it has come to our attention, and I'm very sure now the current leadership which is there has seen where the issues are, and therefore must make corrective measures very fast and ensure that there is a cooling unit at Pumwani Maternity Hospital, which will be able to cater at least for the young ones who die, unfortunately. I want to make another comment about the babies who are dying. It is not as the media is putting it. Look at what causes these deaths. Why are they dying? We have formed what is called maternal perinatal death surveillance. This one tells us why babies are dying, how they die. I think the first question somebody or the public should ask themselves, were these babies who died audited to find out the reason why they died? Because once you find out the reasons, you can be able to take corrective measures. And I'm very sure the team which is on the ground, they have taken initiatives, they have visited these doctors, the deaths.
All right.
They have looked at why they died, and I'm very sure in the near future, you are not going to see all these kind of deaths because they know why they died, and therefore corrective measures will be taken accordingly. All
right, let's now speak to the chairperson of the Health Committee at the Nairobi County Assembly. I understand meetings have been held today with the governor. What is the likely way forward from your end? How are you analyzing this particular situation?
From where I sit, I have observed about two things. One, as much as we would want to wish away the issue of the maternal deaths in Pumwani, there are critical issues that actually merits the attention of both the executive and the assembly as it is. And I strongly believe things are not well in Pumwani. If you ask me, we've been there. My committee again will be visiting tomorrow. And what comes out quite clearly is like there is supremacy battle between two sets of doctors. There are some doctors who sort of believe that the med soup who is currently there is there by default. And therefore, probably what they've been doing is like they have been sabotaging, they have been sort of sabotaging the doctor. And about 2-3 years ago, in the other administration, there was a lot of money that was coming to Pumwani. Julie, I happen to have served in the previous administration, and on daily basis, actually, we were giving about, I think, 500,000 every day to Pumwani. So therefore, there was a question of big money. And when this other administration came in, we realized that something was amiss, and therefore we stopped the payment as it were. And therefore, the cartels that were used to the big money are still there. They'll fight all the forces that are there, whether you're doing good work or not.
Yeah.
And therefore, I think what basically is happening is, as they say, corruption fights back.
Okay.
And there is big bits of corruption involved in the system. And therefore, as a committee, we want to come in as arbiters. We find out basically what is happening. We have a budget, and soon we will also be doing supplementary budget. The health budget is about 6.9 billion for this year. And that's a huge budget, actually. We have it's a straight budget whereby we'll need to sit down and look at issues as they are. What merits our attention, like probably the issue of the mark. But to me, and from where I sit and from what Dr. Ola is saying, the issue of the morgue was not so much of an issue. From Mama Lucy Hospital to our next mortuary, which is at Mama Lucy, from Pumwani to Mama Lucy is about 7 minutes drive. And therefore, probably, in terms of priority, we thought of, and it's been the issue, like a morgue there for the infants was not much of a priority. But again, now, going by what the governor, who is the CEO of this big county, has seen, we need to sit down, fast track, look at the case by case. I am happy today, in our meeting, we observed that he gave us some money to start up the issue of doing a cold room, and we've actually worked so much. I want to appreciate what has been happening with
So then, but are we not being reactive as opposed to being proactive as a county government? If you observe this and you decide now that you will be getting money to do that, are we not just being reactive?
What I think Dr. Ogala had said is like, in this particular health, in this particular sector, health is a big docket. We got enough charges, and therefore it didn't come out quite clearly like this was a priority.
All right.
But again, when it did, we have to sort of get a quick fix into ensuring that it's done well.
So then the governor dissolved the board at the Pumwani Maternity Hospital just yesterday. He also suspended 4 county officials over this particular saga, and of course it is being termed as insubordination.
Yeah.
Do you support his style of doing things?
I would sort of have an issue with the way that was done, but sitting down with him yesterday and big bit of today, 2 things came out quite clearly. The day before yesterday, the governor actually sat with the cabinet. They took a decision. A decision that should have been binding between the governor and the executive from his cabinet. They agreed like there were problems that actually like would have merited that some disciplinary measures be done to contain the situation at Pumwani. And if they took a decision universally as they were, as a team, for probably, according to the governor, for now the other staff, the other executive to go behind the governor and probably, because what was coming out clearly was like they had reached a decision, and then these other 3 went behind the governor and gave out different...
so they were suspended merely for contradicting the governor?
I would say so.
For going with a different narrative from the governor?
I would say so.
And the county assembly seems to be in agreement with this?
I said this, and I want to repeat it again. We'll be coming in as, our bit is to oversight the executive. We are coming in as arbiters to ensure that both sides speak to each other, and whatever wrongs that were there, I'll correct it.
Okay.
Yes.
Dr. Ogaro, you're among those that have been under the Nairobi governor's wrath as you see what has happened to 4 of your colleagues just last month. You went through the same, you're suspended or fired over the same. I mean, what are your thoughts about especially how county officials are being handled in the city?
Well, thank you very much. I may not be able to comment so much that way because it's the priority of the governor to do what he does, and I think he knows what he's doing, so I may not be able to say whether it's correct or wrong.
So you think it's coming from a good place?
Pardon?
You think it's coming from a good place?
Which good place?
Is he coming, does he have good intentions with how he keeps changing and firing county officials in public areas, in press conferences?
I may not really tell because I don't know. Well, he wants to clean Nairobi, so I don't know whether it's good or bad intentions, but I think it's his decision, and we cannot be able to question the decision the governor makes.
Mr. Panyako, you started by just taking us through some of the problems that are the healthcare system Nairobians are facing currently. Just seeing how the county government is handling the issue of health and its leadership in itself, do you think we're on the right path?
I think we are not on the right track because first I have heard Honorable Rotere say that maybe some health workers are sabotaging the medical superintendent at Pumwani Maternity Hospital. I want to say that when the investigation is done and we have the results, sabotage will not be one of those things that will be the cause of the problem we have in Pumwani. There is no any doctor in the world, there is no any nurse in the world that can cause a death of a human being because you want to sabotage somebody. That one I know with the training that we have with the hypocrite odds, with the nurses odds, we cannot take away someone's life because we want to protest leadership that we do not agree. There are serious problems within the county government of Nairobi in terms of healthcare system. But I think the way they are being handled is not correct. I agree, Governor Sonko has genuine issues within the healthcare system, which he has noticed, and I have also noticed them. But the way he's approaching those issues may not be in the best interest of the healthcare system in Nairobi. But we cannot run away from the reality. He has seen a problem. Remember there was the issue of baby Jacinda. We came up and we proposed that Pumwani Maternity Hospital should have its own mortuary. And we were actually promised that it was going to be put in the mortuary, Pumwani Maternity Hospital was going to have a mortuary in its expansion. So we have myriad of problems within the county government of Nairobi, ranging from human resource issues, lack of promotion, inequalities, discrepancies in payment, shortage of staff, dysfunctional equipment, the disquiet among the healthcare cadres. There is some cadre within the healthcare system which other cadres fail. They are not playing their role. These are not things I can speak on the TV, but these are the things that we need to sit down in a room somewhere with all stakeholders within the Nairobi County government and address this thing heart on heart, eye to eye. We must tell somebody, here you are not doing your work. That is why this is happening. Here you are not doing work. That's why this is happening. This cannot happen in the media. We want to be part of the problem solution. We don't want to create more problems by apportioning blame in the media. What we are saying is that we need to have a more professional approach on how we can handle the very serious issue that are facing Nairobi healthcare system. And this is not about Pumwani alone. It is everywhere. And I've restricted myself that I will not go in deep in those issues because I might end up affecting some people. That's why I'm asking that we are ready as a union with the information we have to sit somewhere in a room with the governor, with his administration, with any stakeholders, including even the Senate, even Honorable Rotere. We will say these things because they affect the lives of our people. We have every right. As a nurse, I'm trained as the defender and the advocate of the patient. So where I realize that our action as healthcare workers is affecting the proper service delivered to the patient, I have the right to act as an advocate of the patient. So I'm saying there is something seriously wrong. The approach to solving these issues is not properly being done. We need to have system working. All right. And that is a big story tonight. Thank you for joining us. My guest tonight, Peter Rotere, MCA and chairperson of the Health Committee at the Nairobi County Assembly, Dr. Thomas Ogaro, the former Nairobi County Health Director, as well as Seth Panyako, the Secretary General, the Kenya National Union of Nurses. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us here tonight. Up next, Linda Ogutu with Primetime News. My name is Akisa Wandera. Good night.